Marahil marami sa atin naniniwala sa konsepto ng happily ever after. Na lahat tayo ay may the one. Pero talaga nga bang ang pag-ibig at relasyon ay para sa dalawang tao lamang? Or pwede ba natin ibigay ang ating puso sa dalawa o higit pa? Ganito ang sitwasyon ng magkakasintahang sina Billy, Art at Aris. Hindi lang doble, kundi triple kilig daw ang relasyon nila. Tama ang dinig ninyo, tatlo sila sa relasyong ito. Ang tawag sa kanila, tropol.
Si Han is perfect for me. Tapos here comes ba na parang, ano ba, another bonus ba to or what? Kasi wala kami usually pinag-aawayan kasi we're mature individuals.
Polyamory relationship ang tawag sa relasyon ni na Billy, Art at Aris. Ito yung klase ng pagmamahalan na higit pa sa isa ang ating karelasyon o partner. Pero iba ito sa bawal na relasyon. Dahil ang mga taong pumapasok sa polyamory relationship, may consent o alam ng bawat taong involved sa relasyon. Ikaw, papayag ka ba na may kahati sa pagmamahal at atensyon ng iyong minamahal?
Hello mga kapuso! Ako si Dr. Ana Tuazon, ang inyong kakwentuhan na psychologist sa Share Ko Lang. Tinanong namin kayo kung anong masasabi nyo sa pagkakaroon ng higit sa isang partner pagdating sa isang relasyon. Pag-uusapan natin ang inyong mga shinare kasama si Drew O'Banion, isang writer at ang nasa likod ng youth-oriented sex education platform na now open PH. Hi Drew! Welcome to the show!
Hi, thank you so much.
Yeah. So, what is Now Open PH?
So, Now Open PH is a project kami-kaming magkakaibigan. We just really wanted an avenue na pwede namin pag-usapan yung sex, lahat ng mga taboo topics na parang hindi namin alam kung sino ang pwede namin kausapin tungkol doon. And we were really taught to repress that and not talk about it.
How would you describe your current relationship now?
Well, I'm currently not dating at the moment. It's a personal choice. But I still do identify as ethically non-monogamous or simply just non-monogamous. So ang ibig sabihin nun is just I don't have exclusive relationships. Non-monogamy is the umbrella term. But polyamory is the one like where it's multiple romantic like relationships na in love ka. Maybe you sleep together, maybe you don't. Hindi naman requirement ang sex, but often there is sex as well.
Yeah. Merong mga kapuso na nagsabi in terms of higit sa isang partner, sabi nila, dami pang keme na tawag ng bababae o ng lalaki na lang ang tawag. Parang sa kanila, it's the same. Non-monogamy is cheating. Sabi nga nung isa din, in layman's terms, babaero o lalakero. So, in a way, parang, di ba, I wonder, have you seen that where they kind of look at polygamy or polyamory really, the fact that they see it as cheating? Do you see that also? Do you see that perception and attitude around? And how do we understand that and how do we tackle that?
Yung polyamory, poly means many and then amory means love. So many loves. It's a more specific kind kasi with polyamory, it's like multiple jowas, I guess the one that everyone's familiar with, yung mga thruples, or we call them triads, triangles, whatever. This is when you have 3 people na magkakasama. Usually, lahat sila may relationship. Sometimes, para siyang V na isa lang, tas connected sila na ganun. Like, there's just so many. Like, we could talk for hours. The thing with non-monogamy is pinag-uusapan namin kung ano yung cheating, kung ano yung pwede. So, it's just more communication about it. Like, the thing is, you can also cheat in non-monogamous relationships if you, kasi may mga rules, may mga agreements din kaming, nilalatag. Tapos, if you break those rules, then that's cheating, It might not be the same cheating for other people, but cheating still happens. So hindi siya cheating because everybody agrees to it. Everybody's fine with it. It's only cheating if you go against something.
I mean, at the core of it, diba, cheating, whether it's in exams or in relationships, ang core naman just, diba, is that you broke an agreement or that you broke a rule.
And you broke their trust.
And
as
you
well.
broke their trust because you did something that was not, diba, counter to their expectations of you. And I think the main difference here, tama ba, Drew, is there's actual mutual explicit consent. I mean, meaning you agreed that this is the arrangement. Any relationship, really, monogamy, non-monogamy, that's the ethical way to engage in a relationship. So, siguro, ano yung mga uri ng consent na mahalaga sa isang open or polyamorous relationship? Kasi actually, may mga kapuso tayo na nag-mention, no? Sabi ng isang kapuso, kung papayag din ang partner ko na dalawa din sila, or kung alam naman namin ang setup na tatlo kami, edi okay lang. So para sa kanila, basta alam, basta okay, like ng lahat, then okay siya.
Yeah, well, consent, obviously, most important thing. Kung walang consent, then hindi siya non-monogamy. It's just cheating, you know? So, kailangan lahat informed. Tas different relationships, iba-iba yung ibig sabihin ng informed. Minsan, it's just like, oh, tell me pag lalabas ka. Tell me pag may date ka. Yung iba, parang ayoko marinig. Like, we call that don't ask, don't tell. You know? Some people, they want to hear everything naman. Iba-iba talaga. Or like some people want to be friends with the person that you're dating. Like, so everybody has like different needs when it comes to this. So consent is important, but it's also important to like challenge, I think. Challenge kung ano yung assumptions mo about relationships.
Some couples that I know, that I work with, usually, and it's usually, let's just gender it a little bit. Usually it's in a heterosexual relationship, let's say it's the female, sabi niya, kasi, you know, because cheat yung husband ko, cheat yung boyfriend ko, would it be better to open it na lang para hindi na ako masaktan? Yun. May ganon eh. That's why I know maybe perhaps, right. There's no objective, absolute right or wrong. And there are certain, I think sometimes, sabi mo nga, di ba, parang it's a way to save the relationship. And I know from a relationship counseling standpoint, that is not, di ba, it's not a panacea. It's not gonna save your relationship simply by opening it. How would you talk or address to the people, maybe not just girls, but even maybe, people who think na, kasi I cannot control my partner's, libido, I might as well just accept it and open it. And what's the, I guess, ayun na naman ako, best way, diba? But what's the mindful way, diba? Of sort of tackling that?
I think in any relationship naman, monogamous or not, while it's a partnership, you yourself in any relationship. So important talaga to like take a step back. Ano ba yung values mo, priorities mo, boundaries mo? Like what makes you feel good, Like don't think about other people muna. Ikaw mismo, ano talaga yung values mo? So for some people, cheating, hard deal breaker. That's cool, But if you're the kind of person na parang, you know what, actually, I don't really care if my partner sleeps with other people. Like, as in like, totoo ha, hindi yung like, nagsisinungaling ka sa sarili mo. Like, totoo talaga na you don't really care, pero gusto mo lang sa basta if ayaw umuwi or whatever. Like, whatever kind of setup you want, tas okay ka talaga doon, then do that.
Since we're talking about like, okay, to open or not to open, to take on multiple partners or not, I'm sure may pros and cons, di ba? Parang there, hindi naman madali, di ba? It takes a lot of work and a lot of, negotiation, communication. Ano yung mga pros and cons for those who are exploring themselves? Maybe that's something they, di ba? Ngayon, pinag-iisipan nila what kind of relationship they want, or perhaps it's already a relationship, couple who wants to consider.
This is a pro na con also. It has two sides to it. So yung pro side ng commitment ng non-monogamy is that nade-design mo yung commitment mo the way that you want. The con of that naman is medyo nakakatakot yung wala kang script. Hindi mo alam yung ginagawa mo. Kahit may mga kaibigan ka na hindi rin monogamous, parang iba yung gusto nila eh. So, hindi naman pwede. Hindi naman pwede tignan yung mga magulang mo kasi hindi naman sila ganun dati. So, nakakatakot siya. And it's like, malaki yung responsibility nun. Kasi if you fail, it's your fault. But if you succeed, it's because you put the work in. So that's why it's super scary, diba? So one con of non-monogamy is that the more people you date, the more chances of heartbreak, the more chances of pain, you know, the more chances of jealousy, especially pag yung jowa mo din may ibang jowa or may ibang partner. So that can be hard. You know what? You have to feel a lot of feelings. But the pro of that is that you become really good at feeling feelings. You know? You learn how to handle your feelings. You learn how to handle jealousy. Like, people ask me if like how to never feel jealous again, and I'm like, I don't know, but if you find out, tell me. Because I still feel jealous all the time. Pero hindi na nakakatakot yung jealousy. You know, it's just an emotion. It's kind of like needing to pee.
You know, I really like that angle kasi from a therapy standpoint, di ba, we say no emotion is inherently bad. Really. Each emotion actually, parang lahat ng emotion natin may function, may healthy function in our lives. And even something like jealousy. And even something like heartbreak can have a function in our lives. And ano bang healthy function ng jealousy? Jealousy is, you know, it's something, it reminds us that, okay, there's something that we want and that we don't always get what we want. Right? Like there's something that we want all to ourselves and yet, di ba? Parang learning that we can't fully control things. And actually, if you think about it, that's such a powerful lesson that jealousy can give us, di ba? Parang, you know, to kind of accept that we cannot control other people's behaviors totally. At least, merong mga ibang kapuso, pero it comes from a place of concern naman when we ask, no? Ang sabi nila, ang sakit isipin na may pumapayag sa ganitong sitwasyon at sabi ng isa, no, hindi ako papayag sa ganyang relationship. I know my worth as a woman and as being a person and also I deserve to be loved. So merong sense na parang nagsettle for less if you, di ba? If you enter such a relationship or parang dehado, kawawa naman yung mga nag-enter sa relationship na ito. So, paano natin mapapahalagahan ang ating worth? Di ba? Ating self-worth.
Like technically, walang mali sa sinabi niya. Like, you should know your worth. You should never settle for less. You should know how you want to be loved and ask your partner to give you that. I think the assumption here is that's the only way to be loved, is to be in an exclusive relationship, you know? I think one of the biggest things kasi that we the biggest blocks to accepting non-monogamy is we have this idea na love like is possessive. It's about ownership. It's like you're mine. Like literally, that's what we call each other. They're mine. That's my man. That's my jowa. You know, it's or like parang we have this idea na, oh, no one else is allowed because this is my person. You know, I have monopoly over their sexual romantic expression. Ganon. So for some people, that's what they want in love. For other people, that doesn't matter to us. It's just as simple as that. Hindi namin tinatali yung feelings of worth namin sa ilang partners ng partner namin.
Let's set it in the social context, diba? What it means to be non-monogamous in the Philippines and all the norms, diba? Hindi natin hiwala yan eh. Parang, it'd be nice kung kayong dalawa lang or kayong, you know, sa relationship, yun lang yung pag-uusapan and your partners and your lovers. But we have this, you know, society, right? We have the Filipino society kasi, as I said, napaka-strong ng reactions ng ating mga kapuso, no? Sabi nga nung isa, ayoko na mag-talk, pero ito lang ang iwan ko. Love is not meant to be shared. Ako, I have so much to say, but that's not for this episode. But, pero sabi niya, ito yung isa, kailan pa naging okay yung tatlo? Talaga ba? Big no sa akin yan. So, I guess if you could if it's okay to share about your personal experience about other people and how they're sort of reacting, to your relationships, especially the more Filipino, the Filipino side, diba? Parang kasi yun na nga, this is not something we talk about. This is not something, especially if you're Roman Catholic, diba, and all that, and supposedly conservative values. What's the acceptance so far?
We don't have an agenda. We don't want to turn the whole world non-monogamous. We just want to have our relationships really in peace, be respected like everyone else's relationships are. And ultimately, like you asked me, actually, one of the first questions is like, ano yung na-realize mo about mga Filipino relationships? It's like we're more alike than we're not, Like, lahat tayo, we feel jealousy. Lahat tayo, like, feel a little pain sometimes pag may bagong crush yung jowa natin. Lahat tayo minsan insecure. Lahat tayo naghahanap ng love. Lahat tayo, like, we don't want to, we want to share our lives with people who care about us. Like, we're more alike than we're not. Baka iba-iba lang yung form or yung itsura nun. Pero, like, we're all humans who want the same things. We all want kindness, love, and respect. So, like, ultimately, that's what I want people to do with this, is like to realize na tao din kami, and we want all the same things.
I really like, parang it's a really good prescription almost, actually, diba? First, know what you want, know what's important to you, and sabi mo nga parang dream your dream relationship, get to know it, diba? Parang fantasize about it so that you know what you're looking for. Wag masyadong makandado to what other relationships look like. Have enough exploration and openness to know what works for you. And then sabi mo nga, how you feel, express how you feel, and ask for how you want to be loved. Diba? And then the more open and the more transparent that is, maybe the more satisfying the relationship can be. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Drew, for this, conversation. Para I'm sure maraming, maybe yung iba parang, ano ba to? Right? They're just sort of curious. But if we could at least, sana, I'm sure merong mga, diba? Parang at least they know a little bit more now. And again, it doesn't have to be for them, right? Like, yun na nga, sabi mo nga, walang agenda ito, right? It's just sort of getting to know, getting to understand, that there are many different ways of loving and being with someone. Yeah. Thank you so much, Drew, for being with us today. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kung may gusto kayong pag-usapan, mag-iwan lang ng comment below or email us at sharekolang@gmanews.tv. We're also streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in.